Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, our guest speaker, will be joining in to take you through in more detailed format in the similar topic. He's the regional director, then leads the council efforts in increasing adoption and awareness of PCI security standards in India. And in his role, he works closely with the PCI council management team, payment brands, assessors community, participating organization, government entities, and regulators. He's an innovative thinker, speaker, and a television personality, as well as a technical writer, and has been often quoted in the cybersecurity news and has been quoted by news organizations as well. He's been working in payment security domain for close to a decade and a half and has been recently recognized amongst the top 50 cybersecurity leaders of India in 2021. He's been constantly a part of the research and development around role of new emerging technologies, and he possesses a bachelor's degree in computer science as well. Could you please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for the Regional Director, South Asia and MEA, PCI Security Standard Council, to take you through a presentation, Mr. Nitin Bhatnagar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very good morning. I can't hear, I don't get energy, otherwise I will be just 30 minutes standing here. Can we just say very good morning to everyone? Good morning. I think we had a good breakfast, right? Sleepy? Okay. I will not make you sleepy, that's definitely for sure, and I want to make this engagement, this 30 minutes, more interactive. Once again, let's everyone together say good morning. Good morning. Sounds better. And thank you very much, CICRA and Daily FT, for giving us this opportunity to present to this beautiful crowd and in the beautiful country, Sri Lanka. I've been visiting Sri Lanka for long, and I've never gone out for the what do you say? Sightseeing, right? So probably next time for sure, I'm going to go out and have some sightseeing as well. But before that, let me just talk about that what we do. So PCI Security Standards Council, how many of you know about it? Hands up, like this. People who are sleepy, so we'll make it more easy to wake up. So PCI Security Standard Council is being formed by the 5 major card networks, which is Visa, MasterCard, Amex, JCB, Discover, and we have one of the strategic partner here, Visa, with us. And I would want to keep it more concise and precise. Vipin has already covered a lot of things, but I would want to take you through what we do. And what we do is very simple. Our mission is to enhance the global payments, payment account data security by developing standards and supporting services that drive education, awareness, and effective implementation of these standards by these stakeholders, which is you. How many of you are PCI compliant or been following the PCI standards? 1, 2. 1, 2 only? On 3. Okay, 4. How many? Can we have the hands up? Oh yes, there are few, but good. I think that's the reason why we are here, right? So probably education is more important. So the strategic pillars for PCI is increased participation and knowledge, evolve security standards and validation, secure emerging payment channels, which Vipin just covered beautifully. We are seeing a lot of new emerging technologies taking over payments, and increasing standards alignment and consistency. And the 5 architecture principles that we have: security, flexibility, consistency, global, and resilience. So this is what a quick about what we do. Talking about, I think this is what been covered in the morning by the minister as well, talking about the increase in the cybercrime cost globally by 15%, which is going to reach $10.5 trillion annually by 2025, which is a huge number. And I think that's the reason why we come forward and try to get more engagement from the industry, talking about standards, try to get involvement in the form of you providing us a feedback so that we can influence these standards to protect the payment data. Talking about the regional involvement, this is the Asia Pacific as a whole. So we have close to 149 licensed QSAs. We have 84 participating organizations. We have close to 77 internal security assessor companies across the region, and we have close to 96 PCI professionals who are supporting us in driving the education awareness and also supporting the stakeholders in implementation of PCI security standards. And I think next slide that I just wanted to, next slide is going to be on very critical aspect, and also one of the largest involvement that we are getting from the industry is from LankaPay. I think we should give them a round of applause, and been supporting us. Can we do that? And I think we have LankaPay here, few of our members from LankaPay as well. I would like to congratulate them and say thank you for supporting us and being one of the associate participating organization with the PCI Security Standard Council in helping us, providing the feedback in the standards development and also supporting us throughout. Talking about the standards, I think I was about to ask a question, how many standards we have? Can anyone tell how many standards we have? How many? The back side. How many standards of PCI we have today? 15. 15. We have 15 data security standards. And what you see is the ecosystem players, and I call them actors. Now, they are not the film stars. They are the payment ecosystem actors. So, the issuers, the merchant service providers, vendors, solution providers, acquirer processor, and the issuers. Again, this is the whole ecosystem that you see on the screen, and each ecosystem player has to adopt to the standards of PCI, which is probably for the card issuers, they may need to do PIN security, card protection, physical logical, token service provider standard, which is again getting updated. You may see some kind of a new standard coming out from the PCI Security Standard Council on the TSPs by the end of this year or probably next year. Then you have PCI DSS, which we all know, and the PTS POI, HSM standard, point-to-point encryption. We talk about mobile payment standards, talking about software-based PIN entry on cards, secure software lifecycle, contactless payments on cards, mobile payment on cards. So I think it's a long list. And you will see this list going up as we talk, and these are the standards which are going to grow with the support that we are getting from the industry to evolve these standards. So this is what I say is a very important slide. If you want to take a snap and do not want to miss, take now, put it on your dashboard so that you can always refer which standard would get applicable to you. Not all of these standards would be applicable to you, but there would be certain standards that are going to be applicable to you. And for the compliance program around these standards, you have to reach out to your payment brands or the networks or your acquirer to check which standard gets applicable. What we do, just to clarify, we manage these standards, we develop these standards, but the compliance to these standards are being managed by the payment brands. So this is the revision history to these standards. The major revision that you see is the circle that you see, the green circle that you see is the major revision to the standards. You have diamond, which has a minor or the other revisions, and you see the retirement. So we also have got the standards retired. How many know which is the standard got recently retired? It's an open book. Can anyone tell me which standard got recently retired for PCI? Can't hear. Loud. Which one? PCI. Huh? Which one? You just told. Which? PADSS. That's correct. We just retired last year in October 2022 PADSS standard, which we all have been following to protect our payment applications. And the PADSS standard has been replaced by Software Security Framework, which is SSF. And we have stopped accepting any new application on PADSS. We have started accepting applications on the SSF, and we have, I'm proud to say that, since the time we retired this standard, we have got close to 205 application software listed on the PCI Security Standard Council website. So, when we talk about the listings, you can see which are the softwares which has been listed or validated against these standards and can be used as one of the reference point when you are evaluating different softwares for evaluation within your organization. So I think let me talk about the latest insights on the PCI DSS version 4.0, which is, so we are 1.5 year old standard now, and we just recently celebrated our 1 year journey to the PCI DSS version 4.0, and I think with the celebration, that also means that the PCI DSS 3.2.1 is going to get retired. Can anyone tell me when is the PCI DSS version 3.2.1 is going to get retired? Let's all wake up. I saw some hands, who just told me about that they know about PCI DSS, right? Can I get an answer? Next year? March. Perfect. You work for? DFCC. So I think we have the champions here already knowing about the PCI. So PCI DSS version 3.2.1 is going to get retired by March 2024. And PCI DSS version 4.0 is going to be the new standard that is going to be taking over. So we are in the transition period. We are already 1.5 years into the journey now. And the goals for the PCI DSS version 4.0 are very simple, clear. Ensure the standard continues to meet the security needs of the payment industry, adding the flexibility to support different methodologies being used to achieve security, promoting security as a continuous process, enhancing validation methods and procedures. So, and many people ask me now, I think I just wanted to include the slide in between before I move on to what are the changes to the PCI standard has been. But one thing is very critical that I just want to convey back to the stakeholders is that PCI DSS can also be used to protect against threats and secure other elements in the payment ecosystem. Because there has been always a question that, is this just cards that we can protect from the PCI standards? The answer is no, but the answer is yes. But at the same time, you have to go beyond the cards, talking about securing other elements in the payment ecosystem using the PCI standards. There has been a lot of new guidance that has been added to the standards with the PCI DSS version 4.0. We have added the scoping guidance. We have added the clarification on the cardholder data environment. We have added the time frames for different requirements, segmentation, wireless using the third-party service providers, talking about sampling, testing methods, scope impact of encrypted cardholder data. So there has been really a lot of guidance that has been included in this. Not sure, with the time paucity that I have, I may not be able to take you through everything, but if you want to really know more about it, I'm here all the day. We can talk in stretch on these guidance that has been added with the PCI Security Standard, Council standards of PCI DSS version 4.0. Quickly talk about the implementation timeline. As you know, we have 1.5 years into the journey of 4.0, so we are in quarter 3. 2024, 31st March is where the PCI DSS version 3.2.1 is going to get retired. And the 31st March of 2025 are the future dated requirements date, which is you still have time until 2025 to meet the requirements of the future dated. These are the best practices until 2025, but will become the requirements post 31st March 2025. So this is the implementation timeline. We are already more than 1.5 years into this journey, and we are just towards the retirement of version 3.2.1. So we have in total 53 requirements added to the PCI DSS version 4.0. We have 11 additional requirements for the service provider that has been added. And we have 13 of those 53 requirements are effective immediately for all the PCI DSS version 4.0 assessments. How many of you have already started your journey to PCI DSS version 4.0? Can we have volunteers? 1. Who else? 2, 3. So you all three are from the different organization? I'm assuming yes. So which is fine. And I think if you have not started your journey with PCI DSS version 4.0, this is the time when you have to start. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very late for you because when you start implementing 4.0, you may be given a chance to also look at which approach that you're going to take to implement the PCI DSS version 4.0, whether you're going to use the defined approach or you're going to use the customized approach. Moving on to the next slide, talking about the evolving security requirements. There are three specific requirements that have evolved in the PCI DSS version 4.0, which is the authentication requirements. We have also evolved the requirements on the phishing attacks. We have also evolved the requirements on the e-commerce skimming. So talking about authentication, we have added multi-factor authentication as one of the key requirements to the standard, which is more elaborative, and it's going to, the MFA has to be implemented for all your network components and the application wherever the cardholder data is getting stored, processed, or transmitted. I'll go in depth for the phishing and e-commerce requirement, and I think this is the e-commerce specific to the e-commerce attack. So what does the, how many of you have heard about the Mage card attack? Mage card. Can we have the hands up? Mage card attack. No one? Okay. Interesting. I'm assuming you know, but you just don't want to tell me. But the Mage card attack it was just where the hackers were able to inject the JavaScript into the payment page on the merchant website, and they were able to extract the cardholder data and send it back to the hackers. That's what the Mage card attack was doing, and even the merchant or the consumer, both of them were not even aware of their data has been getting leaked. So we worked on that specific case scenario, and we evolved the standard requirements for PCI in the PCI DSS version 4.0. And talking about specifically, if you see this cardholder data, account data, when we have an e-commerce, there was a skimming script, and through the skimming, through the script, which is a third-party script, they were able to use this script to send this data back to the attacker site. And that's the case. And I think what we have done is that in the PCI DSS version 4.0, we have evolved the requirement to around, to manage the payment page scripts to prevent skimming. Requirement number 6.4.3 is specifically talking about this. Confirm all payment page scripts are authorized. Assure the integrity of each payment page script and inventory of all scripts with the document justification. So this new requirement helps you at least preventing on the attacks, on the skimming attacks that are happening on the e-commerce website. The second requirement that we have is to deploy a mechanism to detect the skimming attacks that are happening, which is requirement number 11.6.1. This talks about alerting the personals, configuring the mechanism, and perform the mechanism functions. So this two requirements specifically has been covering the skimming attacks. So now if I just add two more boxes to this, this is how the PCI requirements are trying to help detect and prevent these skimming attacks on the e-commerce websites. So talking about the flexibility for the different methodologies I just touched upon, we have two different methodologies that we have adopted this year, this time with PCI DSS version 4.0. One is the defined approach, and other is the customized approach. The defined approach is the same, which the industry has been following previous years. Having a standard, you have a defined objectives, you have a qualified security assessor come and do an audit and validate all these requirements for the final validation. And the new addition that we have is the customized approach, where you can customize the controls, you can define your own objectives, and you can do the audits with the PCI DSS version 4.0. And one of the reasons why we have come up with the customized approach is because the Payment channels, the payment forms are there are different payment forms that we are seeing. There are new emerging technologies that are coming, and the organizations really sometimes finds difficult to meet the standards requirements with the defined approach. This is a customized approach should also be followed by the organization which are risk mature, and they understand the risk that they have, and they have a right processes within the organization. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very difficult if you are just new to the PCIDSs or to the information security to adopt to the customized approach. So if you are new to the PCIDSs version 4.0 or to the information security, I would always suggest that use the defined approach as one of the approaches to meet the requirements of PCIDSs. Security as a continuous process. I think we have been working with the industry stakeholders across the globe, and we have been defining the roles and responsibilities of entities and the QSAs in the implementation or reviewing the requirements of PCIDSs version 4.0 with the industry. We have updated the guidance. We keep updating this guidance, and we have also released an NFI worksheet, which is to be signed off between the assessor and the entity before any final assessment has been done on PCIDSs version 4.0. Delving into the requirements of reporting, we have new reporting options. The reporting templates have been changed. There has been some new requirements that has been added. SAQs have changed, definitely. So it is no longer a check the box kind of a thing. You have exactly the requirements of the standards in various SAQs now. Then you need to evaluate, verify, and upload the requirements with the evidences on how you are meeting these requirements. So self-assessment questionnaires have also evolved as we talk. This is, I think, these 8 steps to take towards PCIDSs version 4.0. I'll just walk it through quickly. I have 9 minutes, 50 seconds. I'll try to see how fast I can do that. But start your journey, putting it off, just trying to say is that, when the PCIDSs version 3.2.1 is going to retire is 2024, do not leave future dated requirements until the last minute. Even the same applicable to the PCIDSs version 4.0 as well. Stay strong. Do not let your 3.2.1 security controls slip while working on 4.0. If you are new to PCIDSs, the defined approach provides a clear path for meeting PCIDSs version 4.0 requirements. I just talked about it. The step number 3 is to understand the requirements. If you have still not picked up on the PCIDSs version 4.0, please read it. That's going to be more critical for you to understand what changes are going to come or what changes in the standards have been made. Fourth is to understand the validation options, which I even touched point. Customized approach and the defined approach. If you are considering customized approach, understand the extra work involved. You may need to work internally with the ISAs, the internal security assessors, and the qualified security assessors to understand what are the changes going to come, understand the roles and responsibilities, what assessor is going to take, and what an entity is going to do in terms of adopting to the customized approach. I think fifth is to do the work, which any which way is the key. Map your 4.0 requirements to your current controls so you can prioritize your efforts, stay on top of your project plans, and set achievable milestones. Document everything which is critical for your PCIDSs version 4.0 annual validation. Sixth is use the trusted partners. And this is what I've been educating across the regions that I've been representing. Engage with the right people and clearly define the roles and responsibilities for each requirement. Work with the qualified professionals, PCIPs, ISAs, the qualified security assessors, and use PCI SSC validated technology solutions. Train your team, identify any skill gaps, and invest in training where the gap exists. Seventh, do your own assessments, perform gap assessment. Early planning and analysis are key to prompt addressing the gaps. Test all controls before your formal assessment conducted by an ISA or a QSA. Confirm that the security controls are implemented across all in-scope systems and locations. Scoping is very critical. It plays a very, very vital role in terms of identifying what controls you have to meet for specific requirements in your environment. Prioritize your continuous security, focus on maintaining PCI DSS requirements year-round, implement controls correctly the first time and avoid short-term remediation fixes every year. I know industry has sometimes been in a challenging situation where you have to have a round-around of meeting or implementing the compensating controls, using compensating controls as a way to implement the PCI requirements, but just be cautious of the fact that you have to prioritize your continuous security. Building security into business as usual practice and ingrain them as part of your organization culture. That's very, very critical and important. And these are the 8 quick steps. These are available on the PCI Security Standards Council website as well. You can download them, and you can, if you want, I can share the links once, if we meet and you share me your email IDs. We have a lot of resources that are there on the PCI Security Standards Council website available. It's free for download. The standards are free to download, so you can use them as and when you want. We have a lot of resources hub. You can just, if you want to know about PCI DSS version 4.0 first look, you want to listen to the Coffee with the Council podcast. I have one upcoming podcast for the region that is going to come up this weekend. So if you want to hear what's happening in the South Asia region, you can hear that as well. We have 2 brilliant personalities who have been there on that podcast. We have a banker and as well as a token service provider. So that is on the resources. Talking about quickly, briefing about the participating organization program. I'm sure with Lanka Pay on the board, with the council as an APO will help the region to we start getting more feedbacks and they are going to be part of a lot of discussions going forward. But I would also need to also highlight, there are different levels that you can contribute and involve with the council. One of them is the principal, an associate, and individual, which is anyone can come up. This is the first time that we have opened this, and we welcome if anybody is interested to come forward and join. I think once you have become an associate participating organization, you get a chance to sit to run for the board of advisors. You get to engage with the GEAR, which is a global executive assessor roundtable. This is exclusively for the assessor community. Then we have SIG. SIG is a special interest group that works year-round on different topics of interest from the industry. So this is the ways that you can engage with the PCI Security Standard Council. So I think with joining the council, you get an opportunity to collaborate. We can do joint bulletins. I talked about Coffee with Council podcast, perspective blogs, speaking engagements, and the community meetings that happens across the globe. We have 3 community meetings that happens. We just recently wind up with the North American community meeting in Portland. We are coming up for the European community meeting happening just another week down the line in Dublin. And we have the Asia Pacific community meeting happening in Malaysia on 15th and 16th November. These are the quick benefits. I think in the interest of time, I would just want to quickly skip it. If you become an APO with the council, you get to promote your participation. The way I just did it for Lanka Pay, you get an opportunity to be on the global list of PCI Security Standard Council Associate Participating Organization. This is just quickly about the community meetings that are happening. If you want to really get involved with the PCI Security Standard Council, please drop a line on participation@pcisecuritystandards.org, and we would love to hear from you and get you involved. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I saved 3 minutes. Thank you.
For more latest news, subscribe to FTTV.